Hey everyone, it's Kristen Manukirk from Cleveland High School. As we move forward towards this JOCO 2020 initiative, we wanted to create an online forum where math teachers can get together and kind of share their ideas and strategies and resources that they've used in their classroom that seem to be pretty successful. So the first thing that we wanted to talk to you guys about is Week of Inspirational Math. So the Week of Inspirational Math was actually developed by Joe Bowler and her team of graduate students from Stanford University. And as we move more towards this collaboration and investigation and exploration in the math classroom, we have to understand that students aren't necessarily accustomed to that sort of collaboration, especially in the math classroom. So it's our job as math educators to make sure we establish that classroom environment from day one that's a positive and inviting for kids. Kids need to feel comfortable taking risks and understand that mistakes are something that are going to be celebrated and valued because that's the only way that they're going to actually learn math at deep levels. Now, that classroom culture is going to take time and it's going to have to be something that you work on all year, but at the same time, we need to make sure we address it at the very beginning of the school year so that they know that coming into their classroom that they can be comfortable. So now what I want to share with you guys is how to actually access these resources. You're going to go to youcubed.org. It's youcubed.org. The week of inspirational math lessons are going to be week-long complete lesson plans ready to go for you to implement in your classroom that first week of school to help you create that classroom environment, that positive classroom environment. So essentially what you're going to do when you get to the site is you're going to notice that there's 3 complete weeks. Now that doesn't mean that you're going to use 3 weeks of your lesson plans to establish that positive classroom environment, but what that does is it allows that flexibility for you to use in your vertical planning so that the kids, as they go throughout their math courses, they're not seeing the same exact week of inspirational math lessons. They're seeing different lessons that still establish that positive classroom environment. So for example, 6th grade might choose to use week 1, 7th grade week 2, and 8th grade week 3. The goal of each lesson in the week of inspirational math is a little bit different for every single day. So for example, if I just look at week 1, day 1, the goal of day 1 would be that you want to make sure that students are relying on each other to help them see mathematics differently. So for example, just because I solved the problem in one way doesn't mean that every single person in my group solved it the exact same way. You have to rely on each other to have that collaboration and make those connections. The goal for day 2 is that the more connections we make among topics within mathematics, the better and more deeply we're going to learn mathematics. Goal 3 is that fact that being good at math does not necessarily mean being fast at math, which is something that definitely I know students hold that misconception that because they feel like if they don't answer the question the fastest or they're not the first person to raise their hand that they must not understand math as well as everyone else. It doesn't. All it means is they're taking more time to rationalize and think through and understand why mathematics works the way that it does, which is a very important step in learning mathematics.
I'm Jamie.
I'm Morgan.
I'm Anthony. And this is Week of Inspirational Math. I think it's very helpful because me specifically, I used to always doubt my thoughts, but I learned that self-motivation it can actually help you a lot. I'm seeing that in class right now. I like Week of Inspirational Math because it's a new way to progress in math. It's not just standardized testing and etc. You get to actually learn what is being taught.
One important thing that I learned in Week of Inspirational Math was that it's okay if you're a little bit slow and it's okay if you need help, because that was one of the big things for me. Was I was usually afraid that I wouldn't be able to get the math as fast as everyone else. So Week of Inspirational Math helped me with that.
And I also used to be afraid to make a mistake, and this Week of Inspirational Math, I learned that mistakes are they're good, they help you.
Help your brain grow.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Maddie. I've been through 2 years of inspirational math. For me, it helped because it was showing me that I always thought that mistakes were bad and that I couldn't get through them, but mistakes are what help you and lead you to grow more. And then just being able to do little activities throughout the week that went along with inspirational math helped me understand more what the videos of inspirational math were about.
Hi, I'm Kirsten. I've also been through 2 years of inspirational math. I mean, I guess when you grow up, you're kind of taught that speed is the most important and that if you make a mistake, you can't really do anything about it. I mean, it's all that matters is about like the grades that you get in that class. But in inspirational math, they teach you that it doesn't matter if you make a mistake because your brain is growing and those synapses are firing. And they really teach you that you can take as long as you need if you need that time. Like, they're not gonna force you like speed up just because they want answers really quick.
Hi, I'm Sarah, and I've been through 2 years of inspirational math as well. And when I first started the week of inspirational math, I hated mistakes. Like they literally like tore me apart when I made them. But towards the end of it, I learned that they were okay and that they were helping me grow as a mathematician, I guess. And I've also learned that just because it takes me a little bit longer to solve a math problem doesn't mean that I don't understand it. It just means that I just need more time and a little bit more thought put into the math. And I really enjoyed the week of inspirational math because it changed the way I felt about math in general.
Hey everybody, my name is Sarah Holmes and I'm a math teacher here in Johnston County Public Schools. And I just wanted to encourage you to take the leap and do Week of Inspirational Math. I know it's 5 days and that can seem like a lot of time that you're giving up from your classroom, but those 5 days that you spend will really help you throughout the rest of your semester. So some of the things that I've seen happen with my students is that their mindsets completely change. A lot of them come in with really negative outlooks about math. And after the week of inspirational math, they start to see that some of the things they think about math aren't even true. For instance, a lot of kids think mistakes make them stupid, and that means that, they're not really good at math. And we know that that's not true, but kids don't know that. And they believe that mistakes are bad, and they believe that if you're slow at math, then you're not good at math, and that speed is what makes you a good mathematician. One of the biggest myths that people believe about math is that some people are math people and some people aren't, and that math is somehow genetic, and those are just not true. And so these messages that the kids see in Week of Inspirational Math, in the videos particularly, confront them with these myths and misconceptions, and then they start to realize, oh, okay, so these aren't true, so I can actually do math, I can achieve success in math, and I can make mistakes and learn from them, and I can be slow but still understand math deeply. And it's just really powerful to start your year off with those messages and then reinforce them consistently throughout the entire course. And by the end of it, the kids have such a growth mindset, and it actually goes beyond the math classroom. They start to believe mistakes are good in all classes, and that it's okay to be a slow reader in English as long as you understand the material. And so what we do in math helps them in math, but it also extends to the other courses and just them as people. And it's just so powerful. And what's also really cool about Week of Inspirational Math is that they get to explore math and they play with ideas about math. And I think those are verbs that aren't often used for math class, right? We don't think about exploring and playing and having fun with math, but that's what it is. And too often students come to me in high school and think about math as a set of rules and procedures that you have to memorize to get correct answers. And yes, that is a part of math, but that's not what math is. And I think Week of Inspirational Math does a really good job about letting kids have fun with math and to wrestle with ideas and to have productive struggle. And to start all that off within the first 5 days of school is awesome. And I just love it. And I hope that you see through my students' messages how much they enjoy Week of Inspirational Math as well. And it is so powerful. And my kids have said things to me like, I used to be so uncomfortable with mistakes. I thought I was stupid. But now I know that mistakes is just me learning on my way to mastery. How cool is that students have that reflection on themselves? They also really connect with the fact that speed's not important, because some of them are very slow thinkers, but they can still learn the math. And they also like self-belief is important. because it's up to you and how you talk to yourself that impacts your performance, and what you believe you can do really matters. And it's just so cool to see these kids, and I just love seeing their growth over the course. And it's very, very important that you make sure that you reiterate and reinforce the messages throughout the year. But it's a great way to start building a classroom environment that's positive, that celebrates mistakes, that sees math as more than just a bunch of rules and correct answers. So please do it. It'll change your life. It'll change your students' lives. So just go for it. And I hope you have a lot of fun watching your kids get engaged every day. And if you ever need anything from me, I would love to help you, and enjoy. Bye.